that when you come to Africa, we have Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger forming the Sahel state, and these people are coming out stronger each day because they have the backings of the Russians. But then we are hearing that Americans have some of their executives and officers trying to speak with one of the Sahel states to I mean have some kind of a diplomacy conversation with them. And this is for a reason which I know so well, that Americans going down to the Sahel states like Niger and the rest, and I mean they have all these countries lined up. It's something they've planned. From this country we are moving to this country, from this country we are moving to this country. So as we can see on the screens, this is from the Bureau of African Affairs. It says senior bureau officer official Nike Checker is traveling to Bamako to convey the United States respect for Mali's sovereignty and desire to chart a new course in the bilateral relationship and move past policy missteps. The United States look forward to discussing next steps for enhancing U.S. Mali cooperation and consulting with other governments in the region, including Burkina Faso and Niger, on shared security and economic interests. So this is what we are gathering, and as you can see on the screens, it says America returns to the Sahel as top U.S. official heads to Mali for reset talks. What are they going to reset? So let's dive deeper. It says the United States is taking cautious steps to re-engage Mali's military-led government, signaling a pragmatic shift in Washington's Africa policy as geopolitical competition in the Sahel intensifies. So Chris, we are gathering that the Americans are heading to Sahel, Mali to be specific, with Burkina Faso, Benin in mind. What are the Americans trying to do?
Well, so for the very first thing that came in mind is, recently we brought a report where the U.S. Department or the Defense Minister or Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, went to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, before America can assess the northern part of Nigeria, they have to go through the Sahel regions. Do you understand? So that is one of the reasons why they are going there, to have a diplomatic talks with them, so they can be able to assess their airspace, so they can go to Nigeria, the northern parts of Nigeria. On the other hand, they were talking about minerals, the minerals that they have to, have this kind of talks with them so they can realign themselves in order to get access to some of these minerals. And mind you, the Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they are now having a security arrangement with Russia.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now, just as it was happening in Greenland, President Donald Trump won't allow Russia to have access to these countries where he will not be able to have access to. Do you understand? So all these minerals, all these security, routes, their operations, their itineraries, where they would want to pass and all that. Once Russia has, their hands on these countries, there's no way President Trump and his military can use any route through the Sahel states. Do you understand? So because of that, President Donald Trump has to quickly move in to Bamako. I'm sure he'll still go to Burkina Faso, he'll go to Niger as well. So these are some of the three reasons I can state the reason why the Americans are trying to.
So let's try reading, please. Let's scroll up. So as we've already said, Americans are returning to the Sahel states, and there is a reason. It says that the United States is re-engaging with Mali's military-led government in response to geopolitical competition in the Sahel. So that's one point. It says the U.S. Bureau of African Affairs expressed intentions of diplomatic recalibration, emphasizing respect for Mali's sovereignty. Mali's security partnerships have shifted towards Russia, forming a key bloc in the alliance of Sahel states. The U.S. strategic re-engagement is driven by Mali's critical mineral resources and its significant role in global supply chains. So what are we looking at here? Why are they trying to outplay. I feel like they're trying to outplay the Malians and the rest of the other countries.
Well, we'll say they are trying to outplay Russia.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
They are trying to outplay Russia because you see, just as I said, it is happening in Greenland. President Donald Trump won't sit down for you to take over some of these regions,
okay,
especially in Africa here.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that is why some of all these things are happening. Mali is, I think, the second largest producer of gold, I think, in Africa here, and being the second largest producer of gold and some other minerals, definitely the United States would want to have a hand in it other than Russia.
Okay. So it says, according to a statement from the U.S. Bureau of African Affairs on X, senior bureau official Nick Checker is traveling to Bamako to convey Washington's respect for Mali's sovereignty and its desire to chart a new course in the bilateral relationship after past policies misstep. The visit comes at a sensitive moment. Mali, alongside Burkina Faso and Niger, forms the alliance of Sahel states, a bloc that has formally broken away from ECOWAS and reoriented security partnerships towards Russia. So it's all about Russia. If Russia is going to take over, then we Americans have to step in.
Definitely.
Okay. So it says, historically, the United States has maintained a hard line against military coups, often responding with sanctions, aid suspensions, and diplomatic isolations. Mali's repeated coups since 2020 would, under normal circumstances, place it firmly outside Washington's comfort zone. So it says, why Washington is re-engaging Mali. U.S. re-engagement with Mali is strategic, economic, and security interest rather than a softening of Washington's stance on military rule. Mali is one of Africa's leading gold producers and holds reserves of lithium and uranium, placing it at the center of the global race for critical minerals. So as Chris stated earlier, there are lots of benefits the US can get from the Malians. It says, as the United States seek to reduce dependence on Chinese controlled supply chains and counter Russia's growing role in Mali's extractive sector, renewed diplomatic engagement has become a strategic necessity. Security considerations are equally central. Mali sits within a Sahelian corridor that directly affects U.S. counterterrorism operations across West Africa. Although U.S. forces withdrew from Mali in 2022, American intelligence network continue to monitor militant movements across the region. Mali's geographic position links instability in Burkina Faso and Niger in northern Nigeria, where U.S.-backed intelligence cooperation supports efforts to track and disrupt extremist groups. Engagement with Bamako therefore support Washington's broader Sahel security architecture rather than signaling approval of military governance. So it's more or less like they are not really in support of the military rule, but for our own gains, let's try and then get along with these guys. That's more like it. So it says it also reflects a wider U.S. effort to regain strategic ground in Africa after President Donald Trump's aid cut reduced American influence and created openings for rival powers, offering fewer political conditions. And see, this is quite interesting. Do you think the Malians are going to give in to this whole talk and all that, knowing that there is an ulterior motive behind this engagement that the US is trying to make with them?
Well, it was quite unfortunate they had to go straight to Mali. These kind of talks should have started from Burkina Faso. Should have started with Ibrahim Traoré.
Okay.
Because now Ibrahim Traoré is the leader of the AES.
Okay.
So, but to bypass Burkina Faso and go to Mali, it's a no-no.
Okay.
If President Putin doesn't allow Ibrahim Traoré to agree to this, there's nothing. It goes nowhere. Do you understand? So you see how they started. They are trying to tell you they respect your sovereignty. They will try to make you feel big.
Yes.
make you feel as if you are a co-equal with the United States of America, but it's not like that.
Because of their gains.
It is because of their own gains. So because Russia is coming in, they just don't want them to have power over these countries. So they will start with them one after the other. You saw they wrote Niger in it.
Yeah.
They will go to Niger. They have started in Bamako. They will go to Niger. They will find a way to go to Ouagadougou and all that. So the best thing that they should have done was to start from Burkina Faso. Do you understand? So it's quite an interesting time ahead of us as to how they are going to take this news, because for all you know, we will see Russia and US forces in the AES. That is where it is heading to. Do you understand? That is where it is heading to. Any part of the world that Russia would want to put their hands on, US doesn't want to allow that to happen. So that is the most interesting part of the whole story.
Okay, so we have some comments coming up. This is Mimi. It says that it's time to shut down all US embassies in Africa. We do not depend on them, nor do we need anything from them. Too many. They symbolize a new form of colonialism rather than genuine partnership. In practice, they function less as diplomatic missions and more as small military and intelligence outposts. So this is what Mimi is saying. Indabia says Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, don't allow them. Soon it will be cool. They are very dangerous, these ones. This is Abdul Jali. It says that Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali do not need America. Okay, so another person says AES states do not have brainless puppets as heads of states. You banned them from coming to your country. They reciprocated. Keep it that way. The US has nothing but war and death to give to the world. Blackman says, please advise Senior Bureau official Nick Checker to kindly not waste his time. Africans, especially people of the Sahel states, have figured out how evil the United States is. There is no bilateral relationship with the United States. So you could see that a lot of people are not in support of the Sahel states giving into the demands of the United States, only in the name of diplomacy and respect for sovereignty, and we are not against. They are making it like they are not even against the military regime that is happening in the Sahel states, and that's like they are trying to be smart. You know, they want to outplay Russia, but then they are trying to be smart with their moves. But then Captain Ibrahim Traoré and the heads of states for these Sahel states are also smart, like someone said. It's not like they are puppets. That these are military officials, let me put it that way, that have overthrown presidents to come and take charge, and you want to outsmart them by trying to respect them. And the word respect is what is taking dominion of all this US, their next move and all that. But then we are still interested to know the outcome. Me, I'm interested. I don't know for you, but I'm personally interested in the outcome of what is going to come out from this whole meeting. They said Nick Checker shouldn't waste his time, but then the thing is, he will still go, right? Yes.
Yeah, definitely he will still go. Nothing good, I think, will come out of it.
Yes. So that is it. We'll keep our viewers updated about this whole issue, how the conversation and the engagement is going to take place. But like Chris said, bypassing Ibrahim Traoré to go to Mali is just a waste of time. And even if he had gone to Burkina Faso, we